You want to say anything?
No, I think I'm cool. I'm a cool guy. Do you have a fan theory? Like, do you feel like something's going to happen in part 2?
One of the which I shared with Ayan was who Dev could be.
That's a casting, but is there a fan theory in the story?
That which I also read, and probably is something where Amrita has sent Isha to protect Shiva.
That's another one.
Well, you'll find out.
I'm just amazed that we were talking about this earlier, you know, when we watch pop culture things like, say, Game of Thrones or even like Bahubali. You know, why did Kattappa kill Bahubali? You know, these trigger minds to, you know, go deeper. And that is always very rewarding because you feel like the audience is excited. You feel like the audience is thinking for you. They are participating in this world. And that kind of participation and love is just, you feel very grateful.
Sometimes I wish I was also not on social media. Like, I wish I can go back, but now I can't. Sometimes when I'm posting and all, I ask him for caption, say what caption, and he gives some
Wacky.
totally off caption. And I always like say cute, and then I not
That's
don't
so
really take it.
ungrateful, Alia. I've given you such nice captions.
Correct. I'm saying, but it's totally of your personality. And sometimes I take it, but actually I always go with my personality. I'm not being like dissing towards.
I know.
Hello and welcome to News 18 Showsha. We are talking Brahmastra with the team.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
You know, there's a lot of positive energy. The film has done really well. The second weekend has also been phenomenal. I want to start off asking this, that, you know, at the end of the movie, Mr. Bachchan says a dialogue that लड़ाई जीत चुके हैं but जंग अभी बाकी है. Is that what it is for you all? Because the road ahead is still there.
Yes.
Pretty much.
Yeah, he sums it up well. The journey off screen and what is going to continue on screen as well.
Yeah. Like you
know?
think, you would imagine that this would be a moment of like sitting back and relaxing. But I don't think any of us are feeling it, and definitely not Ayan. In fact, we want to send him on a break, but it's not going to happen because, yeah, I think
The
this...
journey is on.
Yeah.
You know, we had also not, and it's such a new journey. I think I had felt ki film will release, like Alia said, that, oh, there'll be a big break, or, you know, we'll take a little break. But I can tell that we're just in it. Part 2 is in our minds. We're still dealing with part 1. We're on as a team.
We talk about this all the time, you know. I've said this often, that Brahmastra is really in our DNA. You know, it's as much as we brush our teeth in the morning, we talk about Brahmastra, and that's going to be a very large chunk of our life. And we're very grateful that we have a film like Brahmastra, a world like Brahmastra, and especially now after it's released, the kind of encouragement we've got, the kind of you know, the pat on the back, you know, the kind of expectation for part 2, for part 3, for this Astraverse. It just makes you feel more inspired, more confident, and you know, it kind of gives you a new sense of rejuvenation to get back in the game.
Was this something that was required? That this was something that you're looking forward to, in terms of, especially Ranbir? You know, Shamshera had, you know, mixed reviews. Was this something that you were looking at?
Of course,
And
nothing.
this means success.
The success,
Nothing
the box office
succeeds like
numbers?
success, you know. Like, of course, that's the you know, that's the goal always. So yeah, it was much needed for me, at least.
Tell us, who is the number crunching person out of the 3? Like, who was like constantly, okay, आज कितना हुआ, आज ये numbers है.
No, so to be honest, I always, my joke is that it's Alia from amongst this trio at least, because she's very on top of it. But to be
I think
honest,
it's all of us.
It's all of us.
Right.
The numbers represent, you know, like it seems broken down into this financial metric. What it really represents is people going out, liking the film, supporting it, wanting to watch it. They come back in on the second weekend. What does it mean that we've done so much business? That people went out to watch it. And that's why we make the film eventually. We want audiences to go and watch it. We don't make it so that, you know, we get like... That's the only reason to make it.
Yeah, I think putting out numbers doesn't, like, even when people talk about numbers or we talk about the numbers, we're not saying, hey, we made this much money, like, personally, and we're going to start buying bags and shoes and stuff like that. It's like, hey, this is the reach and width of the film. Like, this is how wide we've gone. And that's also the curiosity amongst all of us. कि आज का कितना हुआ is not like, oh, like, it's more like, okay, what was the reach
Audiences
today?
are engaging with the film.
Yeah, what was the engagement and the reach and the audience involvement today? But that I think all of us have, because at the end of the day, you know,
That's what we work for.
Yeah,
That's the
what we
main.
work
That's the
for.
main thing.
Right. But I heard Ranbir had taken another route together. He was more on social media where we think he's not there.
Yeah.
And, you know,
He
he was more.
Controversial questions, huh? No, it's not that. It's like, see, when your film releases, the best way to gauge it is through real audience. Yes, numbers is something, but numbers comes a little later because you have to wait till the end of the day.
Right.
So what you have through the day is like you Google something or you see what real people are talking. Of course, on social media there is a lot of क्या बोलते हैं, it can get confusing because there is a barrage of negativity. Sometimes your fan clubs are pushing the positivity, so it can get confusing. But you get a kind of a sense where the audience is heading. Way before the numbers come in. We've also got a great guy called Deepak who's working in the Disney distribution team, and he's been very accurate also. Because it's not that he's not inflating numbers, he's not predicting numbers. He's very real, and I think that kind of real energy which has been in our lives in these last 10 days has been really reassuring because the numbers don't lie.
Right.
It's out there for us to see.
Right. But how often do you search for yourself, like #Brahmastra, #Ranbir, #Alia?
I only do it when the film is out.
Okay.
Other than that, there is nothing written about me as such, apart from when the movie is coming out.
But that's because you don't allow anyone to write anything because you don't come out and talk also.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's nothing to talk about me, there was a time when people used to talk a lot about my personal life, but that's not because I used to allow them to talk about my personal life.
They
I guess
just spoke
because
about it.
that was the only thing to speak about. But there's nothing to talk about.
But has it changed after getting married to Alia? Considering
She's a social media personality.
I've seen
celebrity.
her posting pictures with you, and till the time I know that you're very shy of taking pictures.
He still is, and that will never change. My social media is a representation of my personality.
Right.
Now it has nothing. I'm not making up for Ranbir's personality with my social media, and I can't do that. It's too hard a game and all. And like in fact, sometimes when I'm posting and all, I ask him for caption. Say what caption, and he gives some
wacky,
totally off caption, and I always say cute, and then I not.
That's so ungrateful, Alia. I've given you such nice captions.
Correct. I'm saying, but it's totally of your personality, and sometimes I take it, but actually I always go with my personality. I'm not being listening to it.
I know.
But has she pulled you out of your comfort zone of coming on?
No, I don't wish to. In fact, I think it's really cool that he's not on social media, and I wish for him to maintain that because he's unique. Like everybody is succumbed to the social media game, but Ranbir doesn't find the
There's a mystery around him.
And to be very honest, sometimes I wish I didn't. I was also not on social media. Like I wish I can go back, but now I can't.
Why?
Because now I've found actually you never say never, but I've found a certain comfort with it. But I think it's really cool that he's not. You want to say anything?
No, I think I'm cool. I'm a cool guy.
You're cool. That's true. But would you want to be at any point of time? Do you kind
Again, never say never. Right now, I don't think about it.
Right. Coming back to Brahmastra, there were a lot of different opinions when it came to the dialogues and also the love story between Shiva and Isha. Tell us about the whole, the different opinions that were coming to you all and how
the criticism, basically.
Not just the criticism. There were people who had also liked it. There were the parts like the VFX has been appreciated, the whole storyline has been appreciated. But there are certain things like
That's what it means. So you mean the criticism, basically.
Yeah, when it came to the dialogues and the love story, which had different opinions.
You speak to 4 people now, everybody has a different opinion. And I genuinely mean this with a film like Brahmastra.
Right.
Somebody's come out saying that, I preferred the love story. Somebody's come out saying we preferred the action. Somebody comes out saying the dialogues were not working. Somebody said that the dialogues were fun. It was simple. This is genuinely a response because we know, because people talk to us constantly. Everyone has some other experience of the film.
Sure.
And for us as a creative team, and I'm saying this now because we've spoken about it a lot, we can't react to everything. We take everything in, and eventually what happens with time is the narrative settles. And there's one thread that is left behind. So we have to wait to understand what that one thread is. It's clear with the numbers that one thread is a positive thread because no matter what, people are experiencing
people are enjoying
something.
the experience of going for the film. They're going, if they didn't like the film, they would not have gone. So Alia's right. I think we definitely have an attitude where any criticism is taken in a positive way. And we hope to learn from it and improve it. We're not at all saying that, we've given you the most perfect film ever made in Indian cinema. What we are saying is, that we've given you an experience with this film unlike anything you've seen in Indian cinema. It's a new film. It takes you on a ride. It's a very new kind of story. It's starting something very new in Indian cinema, and it's fun. Go have fun watching it. And yes, once we get clarity, like Alia said, once the narrative is really settled, today is 11 days, like I said, since Brahmastra has been out in the world, you know. I use this example a lot that, you know, not as a defense, but just to give a sense of how things go. When Ye Jawani Hai Diwani also released, 2 days after it released, I remember me and Ranbir and the team was sitting, and it's not like Ye Jawani Hai Diwani got 5 on 5 reviews, you know. And we were really worried, like, is the film going to do well? And after a point, we realized it's doing well. People are enjoying the film. When Kesariya released, people were very upset about the word love story. But then, actually, Kesariya is a blockbuster song, and everybody's kind of gone with it. So I'm just waiting, listening, but waiting for things to settle.
Right. You know, this year has been very monumental for the two of you all. You've had a box office success. You've turned producer. Darlings was appreciated. Brahmastra is something both of you all have been appreciated. You got married. Does the dynamics change? When you're working with a partner, both of you all, does the dynamics on the set change? Is there a division? Okay, this is the work me, and this is what I am otherwise?
No, I don't know about change and all. See, the thing is the fact that it's not stuck out to me as something different or unnatural or some really like categorization means that there's not been any like attention to it. It's just that's sort of naturally flowed without there being like this is more of an interview question to answer than actually a point to live. You know, in life it's not like that. Like there's no demarcation.
Right.
It's fun only. You drive together, you go home together and all of that, but there's nothing like feels like odd or unnatural or separate in any way.
Right.
It's all lovely only.
Maybe?
Yeah.
I mean, I would agree to what she's saying.
Right. But does the dynamic change on the sets, or how is it? Like, is it same?
Not when you work with an actor of Alia's caliber, you know, like she is not, she brings her A game to set, and you try and bring your A game to set. You're doing a film which a lot of actors don't get an opportunity to be a part of, a film of this scale, of this vision, and you just focus on your work, you know, and when it's time to go home, you go home and you eat dinner, you live an ordinary life, like a normal life, and next day you go back to work. It's as simple as that. There's nothing about dynamics and all of that.
Like it's not like my process will change because I'm working with my husband or my partner or anything. I'm still going to set. I still have to get into hair and makeup. I still have to go and perform in front of the camera and listen to the director.
Right.
That's not going to change.
Sure.
So honestly, it's and I felt this way like here, for example, when I was working with my mum in a film like Razi, she was playing my mum.
Sure.
It's not like I was feeling this is adding some extra layer to the scene or anything. The scene is written the way it's written. The actors have to perform it the way the director wants to perform.
Right.
Like you to perform it.
Tell us about the second part. How prepared are you all? I spoke to Ayan, and
I mean, it's going to start now, you know. Of course, we are aware of where the trilogy goes. We are aware of our character arcs. It's terrifyingly exciting, you know, to have the opportunity. Any film that gets an opportunity to make part 2, you're in a very good place in life. And I think we all are grateful towards that. But we haven't really started the preparation process yet.
Right.
Of course, you know, there is an added advantage for us that we have already played the characters in part 1, so we are aware of who we are as characters, but it's going to be 10 times a better experience than part 1 also. That's all I can say.
Yeah, but I think a lot of it was also understanding the language before making a film like Brahmastra. One didn't even experience this sort of language of like cinema, visual effects, technology, you know, just
kind of story.
How do you marry the visuals and the story and make it authentic? It was a learning process for all of us. So definitely we can say that now that's happened and that you feel like you finished your graduation at least, or the main. I mean, now you can go and actually apply it for part 2 and part 3 and for the rest of it.
And there is some knowledge attained. Now the world is your oyster. Now you can do anything with it.
Right.
You have the opportunity.
Lastly, I'd like to know any fan theory that you all have read and it has also kind of taken you aback or startled you. Anything that's really...
Well, we asked a lot, this is an exciting question because obviously everybody's tuned into the fact that there are so many fan theories.
Yeah.
Which is what we wanted in a way with Brahmastra, to create this pop culture moment. I don't know, Alia, you say a fan theory that you really responded to.
No, there's like this whole talk of me being negative, which like
Negative?
about Isha being a
part
negative
two.
character.
Okay.
And there's like some there's some
Conspiracy theories about like the way that Isha looks at Junoon
Yeah.
when they bump into each other.
and
There's
our
a whole
rings,
layer there.
Dev and Isha's rings and all of that. So like, I think that has been the most unique because it's been very constant, and actually it was constant. It was kind of trickling even when the promos were coming out. My sister told me because my sister's fully on like Reddit and this and that, so she really gets all the conversation. So that has really blown up. So that's one thing that I've been sharing a lot with Ayan. He obviously hasn't had the time to sit down and read everything, but he's promised everybody
That
that
we're going to
he's
do a
going
big
to
feedback
go
analysis.
through a fan theory like.
Do you have a fan theory? Like, do you feel like something's going to happen in part 2?
One of the which I shared with Ayan was who Dev could be.
That's a casting, but is there a fan theory in the story?
That which I also read, and probably is something where Amrita has sent Isha to protect Shiva.
That's another one.
Well, you'll find out.
That could be true. That could be false. That could be
Ranbir's
possible.
playing.
But the fan theory that you got startled.
You started. What theory?
No, startled or
started.
probably.
I'm not startled. I'm just amazed. I'm just amazed that we were talking about this earlier. When we watch pop culture things like, say, Game of Thrones or even like Bahubali. Why did Katappa kill Bahubali? These trigger minds to go deeper, and that is always very rewarding because you feel like the audience is excited. You feel like the audience is thinking for you. They are participating in this world, and that kind of participation and love is just, you feel very grateful. That's all you feel.
Thank you so much, guys, for taking your time, and congratulations once again.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.